Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
We made it to Friday. CJ Nasello here on our daily show. We got a great one for you. Going to be talking here in just a couple of minutes all about an upcoming Greif Share event. Then at 10 o'clock, we're going to be talking to the Museum of Illusions. They have a really cool partnership that's starting to roll out on National STEM Day with the National STEM Association. So Julissa Noyola will be joining us. She's the Director of Sales and Partnerships for the museum, and she'll be filling us in on what that partnership means and all of that in between. So really good shows today, good interviews, and then all of you to keep me busy. If you have anything to talk about, text into the text line or anywhere you're watching on your Friday morning. At 9:05, we'll take you right to top of the hour news. And we'll take you right to Madison County first. In a heartfelt announcement, Chief Judge Stephen Stobbs revealed his retirement from the bench, effective December 31st of this year. After a notable 26-year career in local government, including 18 years as a judge, at 56, Stobbs will return to private law practice, reflecting on his time serving the communities of Madison and Bond counties. Having presided over a variety of cases, he notably managed the largest asbestos docket in the United States. Stobbs expressed gratitude for his colleagues and the courthouse staff, emphasizing the honor of his judicial service as he prepares to enter the next chapter of his career. Also, in the news today, the Madison County Sheriff's Office recently held a retirement ceremony for Captain Brian Caberna, concluding his distinguished 20-year career in law enforcement. That's incredible. Beginning in 2003 as a deputy, he advanced to the Investigations Division, commanding significant cases including homicides. He played vital roles in auto theft and digital forensic units, collaborating with the Illinois Attorney General's Office on Medicaid fraud investigations. Sheriff Jeff Connor commended Caberna's extensive experience and invaluable contributions, particularly in cyber crimes. As he steps into retirement, he leaves behind a legacy of dedication and service to the community, and RiverBender.com congratulates him as well on a great career. The Troy Maryville St. Jacob Marine Chamber of Commerce recently welcomed over 100 attendees to its 5th annual Women's Conference themed Be the Change, Transforming Generations, held at the Outlet Event Center. The conference featured discussions on navigating male-dominated industries, leveraging AI, and intergenerational collaboration. Attendees participated in various breakout sessions and addressed topics such as imposter syndrome and emotional intelligence. Chamber CEO Don Michel praised the event's energy and diverse speakers, emphasizing the importance of women coming together to empower one another. The upcoming events for the Chamber include a holiday luncheon on December the 3rd. For more information, you can visit TroyMaryvilleCoc.com. The city of Belleville has expanded its ban on public camping, granting officials enhanced guidelines to address homelessness in the area. The previous code was replaced with the comprehensive 10-page ordinance now classifying public camping as, quote, nuisance due to public health concerns, passed unanimously by City Council on November the 4th. The ordinance defines public camping and outlines removal processes requiring a 24-hour notice. It grants law enforcement the authority to confiscate certain personal items and impose penalties ranging from fines to community service for these violations. Social services will be notified of removed campsites to help assist the displaced individuals as well. In a fascinating... Oh, okay, we'll save that one for later on. My apologies. In a recent press conference, Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe, after being elected Missouri's next governor, expressed his intention to pursue a state takeover of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Mayor Tashara Jones responded, stating St. Louis has experienced a significant reduction in crimes and homicides. She warned that a state takeover could jeopardize this progress that she claims in St. Louis City, citing Kansas City's alarming homicides rates as evidence the state does not guarantee safety. Mayor Jones reaffirmed her commitment to collaborating with the local law enforcement and community partners to continue the crime reduction efforts. And that's a look, my friends, at what's happening around the Riverbend down this 8th day of November. The time is 9:10. Let's take a look at weather. It's 47 degrees, a little chilly out there. Feels like 53. Today, partly sunny, but tonight I can tell you this is the first time I've ever gotten this weather note in the years I've been doing the show. Thickening clouds. How about that? I don't know what that means. Air quality at 52, that's moderate. Grass is low, and mold is high today. That's why I'm feeling like this. Mold is way up there, so if you have some allergies, go ahead and take some Claritin and call it a day. Ragweed's low, tree levels are low, and the UV index is moderate. Temperatures reach 61 degrees today. They do drop down to 45 overnight as we head into Saturday. On Saturday, we're going to get some rain. A 94% chance of that, a high of 55, a low of 50. On Sunday, a low of 63, a low of 44. And on Monday and Tuesday, almost spitting images of each other. Temperatures both days, 65 and 64 respectively, and then lows both days, 41 and 47. There will be no rain and partly sunny skies as we start off the week on Veterans Day. Here's what the weather radar is going to be looking like for the next couple of hours here with that rain chance coming in. We're going to go ahead and just take you to when that rain could be trickling into the Metro East. And by 12 noon is what it's looking like here on our screen here from the Riverbender weather desk. And then by 4 p.m., you can see some heavier pockets there. Up in Whitehall, coming down through Carrollton, and then swinging around, and then just some rain over the Metro East. Then as the evening runs on Saturday, more of a heavier period of rain, as you can see there in the Alton, Edwardsville, Godfrey area. And then a heavier pocket down there by Manchester by 9. We get it by 12 a.m. is what they're calling for. You see that on the screen. That is the heart of that storm, it looks like, that red portion of it, right over Godfrey, Alton, and the Edwardsville area again. So you'll have that, and then by 1 a.m. it moves out, making for a clear Sunday. You know what will make this weekend better? I mean, you just heard me. You're getting rain tomorrow. You aren't going to get nothing done. I'm not trying to be degrading or try to make you feel bad. Listen, I get it. We all have plans that never get accomplished. I'm definitely one of those people. But it's raining tomorrow. To-do list is going to stay intact. Go to Village Dispensary. I mean, why not? It's going to be downpouring all night or all day. Then it's night. You just saw around midnight, you're going to get a thunderstorm in certain portions of the coverage area. How about you just go to Village Dispensary, you get one of their daily deals, and you call it a good old Saturday. No rain in your forecast, if you know what I'm saying. You know what? Village Dispensary, every day is a special day. And what I think is great about it, they're such a great community partner. They help support the show. They help support community food drives. And I think that's what really makes them valuable. Yeah, I have fun talking about the product because it is more of the energetic live reads I do. But to be serious with you, it's great to talk about a business that truly cares about the community, because dispensaries really do get a bad rap sometimes because some of the earlier ones were really about that kind of corporate process. But at Village Dispensary, there's a reason that's in their name, because they know it takes a village, and they know that they want you to be a part of their village and vice versa. That's why they're doing those fall markets. They're doing those canned food drives. They're doing all of those things to kind of open themselves up to the community and just say, we're here. So where the hell have you been? Go to villagedispo.com. Don't forget to tell them once you go in and pick up your order that CJ sent you over their way. And at Village Dispo, all you got to do is go in and get the Aero Cart or the Aero Pod. I always get that mixed up. It's not a cart, it's a pod. And that's how they know that CJ really sent you over their way. But at 914, villagedispo.com. And before we take a quick break, man, my lower third is just not liking me today. Before we take a quick break, let's take a look at downtown Alton. We'll see how life's treating us as time rolls on this 8th day of November. Now, downtown Alton.
Yes, go falling in the fading lights. Time passages. Buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
9:17. Welcome back, Daily Show hitting you on a Friday. Man, this has been like the marathon of a week, you know.
If anybody can handle it, you can.
No, I don't. We're gonna find out here in a second. Oh, Laura, Brandon, how are we doing today?
Doing well.
Was Zion Lutheran Bethalto, Brandon, you are the pastor of the church.
Yep.
And, coming up on Sunday, a really great opportunity to kind of just come together and have some, in-depth discussions and thoughts with this Greif Share. And should we start this conversation? Let's just overview the event. And for folks who maybe are a little unfamiliar with what a Greif Share is, let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think grief is a topic, number one, that our culture does not want to address. And we avoid it, we ignore it, we pretend like it doesn't exist. And so this is an event that will allow people to accept that they are grieving. We'll give them tools to help them grieve in a healthy way. And it's also Christ-centered, so it will give them an anchor for their grief experience.
Well, and I find that point very fascinating, that culture doesn't want to accept. And can you explain that a little bit more? Because I think you're onto something, and I agree with that.
I think people in general are afraid of death. They're afraid of talking about death. They're afraid of admitting not only that they're going to die, but that their loved ones are going to die. And so we know it's going to happen, but when it happens, we're in shock.
Well, and on top of that, too, what do you attribute that to? And Brandon, I'll go to you on this, too, and both of you. Because is it because we don't have as much faith as we think we have? Is that where that kind of scaredness comes in? That where does that kind of where does that point lead to?
Yeah, so where this all started, actually, so the event, we call it Surviving the Holidays. We started it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you remember, 5 years ago was, this fifth year doing it, so 2020 was when we first did it. And the reason we started it was to go through the grief process, there's certain natural grief markers. Mm-hmm. So having a funeral service, having loved ones gathered around you, kind of going through those first few weeks, you have people that are coming to support you, and that kind of tapers off, and then you figure out how to take the next step after that. In 2020, a lot of people didn't have those key markers.
Yeah.
They might have had a service that a maximum of 12 people could be at, or maybe they postponed the service. They didn't have the family maybe gathered at the house for a while afterwards, and so as we were looking at kind of ministry needs in that year, that was when we identified is to help those who were maybe missing out on those kind of normal, healthy kind of grief markers.
Yeah.
And being that the fifth year kind of we've done the Surviving the Holidays thing, while some of those normal, grief events, funerals, and that kind of stuff are more regular now than they were. The actual kind of issue of, well, how do I, no one ever teaches you, how do I grieve, what's normal? And especially heading into the holidays, I think a lot of people don't realize until afterwards, man, that hit me harder than I thought it would. Maybe it's the first year of a loss. Maybe it's year 2 or 5 or 15,
right.
and something just comes back, and what this specific event is designed is to be able to normalize the experience a little bit. You're not the only one that's having a tough time, or and to be able to navigate. Well, what should I do? Should we continue the traditions that we did while Mom was here, or whatever the loss is? And a lot of people kind of feel stuck, and we hope to help you feel a little, at least you're not alone in that, basically.
Well, and I totally understand that, and that's it, and it's really important because COVID. And we've talked about surviving the holidays, I believe, in some way, shape, or form, maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember, but it's such an important event because you're right. You're by yourself, and especially if you're an older adult and you just lost your wife, or you lost your husband, or you lost your son or daughter. Those things are happening too. It's especially those different circumstances. Who's going to really help you with the loss of a child? You really need to be a part of a group where you can share those feelings, and because I feel like a group setting, you're able to really achieve more with it. It's not just that bias coming up because I'm talking to my friend and I know my friend's going to tell me these things because I need to feel this way. There's that bias kind of we put in our mind is gone because we're really in a group of like-minded people that are going through those same struggles. Makes sense. Yeah. And now, when does this event take place? 2:30 to 4:30, correct?
Yeah, on Sunday. So
this coming Sunday.
Do we need to register?
You can register online at holidays.greifshare.org, but registration is not required. Everybody is welcome, and we have tons of resources to give people. There is no charge for anything at the event.
Really cool. And now, when you guys started this, it was Surviving the Holidays, now kind of And this Greif Share, is it the same model, just a different name?
Yeah, so we kind of started the event on our own, and we'd bring in a guest speaker or a panel, and over the years, kind of what we identified is having an event is super helpful, but it's also, we saw the need to have a community that people could be invited into, and so that this past January, Laura we had been praying about it separately from us. We've been praying for someone to help lead a regular group, like a Greif Share ministry group. And unbeknownst to us, Laura had also been praying for an opportunity to further kind of the Surviving the Holidays thing. And God ended up having the right person at the right time. So we launched our first group this past January.
It's incredible.
Through July. And then we had another group that started up August, and they'll finish up here in a couple weeks, and then we'll have another group start right back up in January again.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, now that's and can you take me through some of the progress or results, or just some of the feedback you've been getting from this model?
I think they call it a support group model, and I think the most common feedback that we get is, I thought I was the only one who was experiencing these things, and it feels so good to be in a room with people who are experiencing similar things.
And I'm sure with that group, I'm sure there was times before you were in that group, it's like, am I allowed to say this? And it becomes your own tribulation, and that's just what happened to me personally and things. It's like, am I allowed to say these things? Am I allowed to feel these feelings, And when you're in that kind of support group like atmosphere, how is it different, in your opinion, Laura, than any of the other types of opportunities maybe you've had to explore those feelings and emotions?
Well, what I tell people, and I say this every week, I say, I know it's tough to come here, and I congratulate you for coming again this week.
Yeah.
And I know that you're going to take at least one thing home with you tonight that will be helpful for you. And I want you to know this is a safe place. You can express your feelings. Confidentiality is our guide, guard, and direction and rule. And I think it doesn't always immediately click with people, but I think as the weeks go on, I see that people really believe this is a safe place.
And now, is this going to be the last Greif Share event of the year?
Yeah. So we have the Surviving the Holidays on this Sunday. The Greif Share kind of group will meet another.
We have two more group meetings for this session. And then January 13th is when the next session will start.
What's the best way to get more information on that? Because I feel like once we put an article behind this, and especially because so many people are going through this right now, and I think COVID was really hard on people because they never got a chance to fully grieve the way they're used to grieving. The funerals became more of a remote thing, and you didn't have that closure. So I think that there's a lot of people that could benefit from this, truly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's not limited to people who have had a recent loss.
That's really good.
Yeah, we have people in our group that have experienced loss 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 20 years ago. So it's just a safe place where people can work through some of the things that they're experiencing.
Well, and we know people, and we all know of somebody who's lost an individual, and that loss has been pretty much devastating to them for decades. And grief doesn't have any time expiration date, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So true.
So how do these group meetings, and how does this all work? What's the format? What are we going to kind of see in the sights and sounds in that first 30 seconds to a minute in the group?
First you asked about registration. So if they want to register for our upcoming group, they just need to go to greifshare.org and type in their zip code, and then that will take them to where they can find our group as well as other groups. The groups meet at different times of the day. So our group happens to meet in the evening, but there are other times of the day when groups meet if that doesn't work for people. So for our group, we come in. We have an opening prayer. We talk about what the parameters of the group are. We talk about confidentiality, safe place, all of that. We have a short devotion, and then we usually have a few discussion questions. Sometimes it's a personal sharing kind of question. Sometimes it's something related to last week's topic. How did you process what happened last week? And then we take a break, and then we watch a video together and discuss the video.
That's really interesting. Now, this is is this 13 weeks?
Ours is actually 14 because we
Okay.
built in an extra session at the beginning, just calling Introduction to Greif Share, because a lot of people aren't familiar with Greif Share, and so we want them to know what they're getting into.
So what's that moment like when you really start to open up and really feel the group working?
My sister is my co-leader, Barb Doris, and she said, she put it so well. She said, the minute that I saw one group member reach out and put her hand on the shoulder of another group member, then I saw the power of this, of people coming together in a common experience.
Just incredible. You guys got a moment to stick around? I got to take a quick break and pay a bill. It's almost 9:30 on this Friday morning. We'll come back with more of this great conversation right after this in the heart of the 618.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 9:32. Okay, getting back to this really great event. You know, it's on Sunday from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And you know, before we go back into the to the group and how the process works a little more, you know, Pastor, what's it like to have this type of group and just, I'm sure, more programs like this around the church? Because I'm sure, you know, going into the church service and hearing the lesson and going in and doing a little bit extra is great, but I'm sure these programs really add on really that full circle approach at Zion.
Yeah, so what it allows us again to reach people in different ways. So we think about a lot of some of the ministries we do as kind of bridges, and so there's different things that are going to get someone connected. Ultimately, we want them, you know, connected to God, connected in worship. But for some people, it's going to be meeting a different need first. Yeah, you know, and so maybe it's meeting them in their grief. Maybe it's, you know, meeting them in a need that they have, around their house or for education through our school that we have, or any number of ways. But this past Sunday, we celebrated, and many churches probably did celebrate All Saints Day. And so you remember those who have died in the past year, as well as those who have gone before us long before that. And for us, the timing works out nicely to not just kind of have a service of hope and comfort one weekend, but to say, hey, if this kind of spoke to you, if this awakening, we actually have something for you this next week, and we have a group that you can get connected in after that, and to be able to kind of tie this together, so it's not just, well, we talked about that once, but actually we want to walk with you through whatever it is.
Well, and I'm not an expert by any means in church or spirituality, but just in my, for where I'm at, and going to St. Mary's and all that and death, it seems like if you don't have those programs, you really aren't going to be able to get the most out of your services, because you're going in with other things on your mind that you need to address, and to have a church that's going to, provide those things, it's a really good thing to have. I mean, really is.
Yeah.
Getting in back into this, how many people can the group hold?
For the Greif Share group or Surviving the Holidays?
Let's do Surviving the Holidays first, then Greif Share.
Okay, Surviving Holidays, we're wide open. We're using the church sanctuary for the event, so we've got plenty of room.
Yep. Really cool. And then Greif Share, the group?
We don't have a limit, and the cool thing about the way Greif Share is structured is that each session is an independent session. So
okay, that's really cool.
Right. So you start out with the goal, obviously, to go through all the sessions, but things happen, people can't make it, whatever, or somebody just hears about Greif Share about when we're on session 7, they can start coming. And
really cool.
Each week. The challenge to that is the bonding with the group, but the group is very welcoming and it's very inclusive.
Well, and I think that, with some of that, especially how people grieve differently, I'm sure that maybe some times are a little bit harder than others to get to that. So to know that, hey, even though I want to be at if you, do want to be at every one and you just have a bad day, you aren't missing out completely,
Right.
Yeah, and we have some people that they'll come for a little bit and realize maybe I need to try the next session, and or they'll come to the first kind of group and then they'll come back for the next group, and because it becomes a community. And it's not that they're, it could be the same content that you're being taught, but you're learning it, applying it in a new way, and so there's always it could be a long-term kind of support for you, or it could just be here's a one thing that I needed that's going to help me.
Well, and I always tell people, if content repeats, it's a good thing, because how many darn things have you and I and all of us in this room forgotten from 7th, 8th grade, high school, college? We forget about it so much that those really going back and actively working on it is how you truly get better. And I think this is. Wonderful. So did this just line up to where Surviving the Holidays and the Group Share kind of just fell on the same day, or was this done in conjunction for that purpose, just to kind of make sure that both were being met?
Yeah. So when we for I guess the first 3-4 years we just had we always tried we always tried to plan about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving is about when we do Surviving the Holidays, and then we wanted to launch the first Greif Share group. January seemed like a good time to, people are starting kind of new things. The schedule seems to be less full beginning of the year, and then we just kind of let that group run, the number of weeks, and then kind of continued, so that the timing for this group that started in August just ends up leading right into this event, which is great.
And I think really Surviving the Holidays inspired us to go on with Greif Share, because we saw the need, and we were asking what other ways can we help people meet this need.
Well, and it's really such an important one. And now, so the group meets at the church just each time the group's on, so each week it's just the same place.
Right. We meet Monday evenings from 6 to 8.
Really
is
cool.
Our time,
Perfect. And then, Pastor, what else is going on over at the church that we can fill our audience in on today?
Yeah, so I mean, we just finished with trunk or treat and all sorts of.
That's always a big one for you guys.
It's been kind of busy. We got to clean up a little bit of water, like most people probably in the basement on Monday morning or Tuesday, whatever day that was. Yeah, so we're looking forward to. I mean, again, obviously our weekly worship. We have Saturday night 5 o'clock. Sunday at 8:15 or 10:45, and coming after Thanksgiving, we'll kind of head into the Christmas season a little bit, which is for anyone that's wanting to kind of jump back in or has thought about coming back to church. Christmas is really one of the best times because the whether you're churched or not, the songs are almost always familiar.
Right.
And so the main one that I say, if you want to, if anything in you is saying, hey, maybe I'll give this a shot again. Christmas Eve, candlelight service. It's familiar Christmas carols. It's a message of hope about God's presence with us and how that totally changes our lives. Our Christmas Eve candlelight services are 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then if you really want to stay up late, the 11 o'clock p.m., not a.m., 11 p.m. candlelight service will lead you straight into Christmas Day, and it's a great chance to, kind of pretty low, in terms of anything super new, very welcoming, and there's candles involved, so there's.
It's gonna look nice.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, both of you, thank you so much for stopping by and filling us in on this. And is there anything else before I let you go that we need to hit on for now?
I would just say, if anyone wants to come, feel free to come on Sunday. Registration's not required, and we would love to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and honestly, I think this is so beneficial for so many people. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and sharing, and we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
9:50 or 9:40, a little bit of change on this Friday morning. Man, that mold count's getting to me today. My allergies and sinuses are all over the place. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll replay a conversation. Then the Museum of Illusion joins us out of St. Louis. They got a really cool way to honor National STEM Day through one of the national foundations. We'll talk a little bit more about that and so much more right after this on RiverBender.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Welcome back to our daily show at 10:06. We're going to go ahead and jump into really Mississippi Valley celebrating 50 years. Tim, how are we doing today?
We're doing great.
So
excited to be here.
Jackie called me the other day, and I was trying to remember everything. It's been kind of a busy couple of weeks. And you guys are really having a great opportunity to really support this school and really keep this going for another 50 years with a fantastic opportunity for us to help raise some funds for you.
Correct.
So take me to this. So this is a big year, 50 years, and what's just the school, the community feeling like just on the big 50 mark?
Well, it's an exciting time, but also a challenging time.
Yeah.
As we look back, we're located over in the historic Western Military Academy, and so before Western was the Weinman Institute, and that's all the way back to 1879. So about 145 years of education, and education excellence, integrity, discipline, all of those things. And so for 50 years as Mississippi Valley Christian School, we've been a ministry of a local church and educating young people in Christian education. So just over this last year, we have begun the process of separating out as a independent entity. And so with that comes a lot of challenges, some of those being financial, but also revisiting what our purpose is, what our mission is, that type of thing, and how are we going to move forward into that next 50 years.
Well, and what does that look like for you right now, with, your values and with those goals and what those next 50 look like? Have you had some conversations? Do you think you guys are feeling pretty unified and confident on what that looks like?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful.
We've instituted a new board. Historically, it's been the board of Faith Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And so while we continue to have a good relationship with them, the board is made up more of some local Christian and business leaders. And so our mission really is to distinguish us as not a church.
Yeah, I get it. Well, and here's why. I mean, there's so many parents right now, Tim, that are looking for that additional option, you know, and just maybe not a full-on yes or let's go do this, but at least to explore it.
Yes.
And, I'll tell you this, there's times that I've trained folks from soccer, that kids that go to Mississippi Valley. Yeah. And you can tell. I mean, and I'm not saying that because you're bigger than me and I'm patronizing you, but I mean that because there's times, I mean, you can just tell the respect level, the commitment to what the goal is as a team, and the support that they give to their friends and their teammates. It's really interesting, and you can really tell that difference when you're around, just the amount of kids that I'm around, week to week.
Right. Well, and the beauty of it is that is a representation of our culture.
Yeah.
And we have high expectations, both academically, but also from a spiritual level and an integrity level, that these kids would hold themselves to a high standard. And we're partnering with parents to raise their kids a certain way. Yeah. And again, it is more...
It's a team.
Yes, correct.
Well, it needs to be, because that's a disconnect right now with, I think, some parents, not all, but some in public schools, is that it seems like maybe there's a different set of, I don't want to say values, but maybe just a different set of objectives whenever they get to school, you know, in some classrooms, not all.
Right.
But whenever you can have an opportunity to really have that hands-on moment with parents and really discover that best path forward for that child,
right.
What parent wouldn't want that attention to detail? It's not a numbers game there. It's a true let's build character and let's build this child up to a great adult.
Correct. Part of it, too, is there's a cost with private education,
100%.
Christian education.
100%.
And so while we've been able to keep that fairly reasonable, that's also created its own set of challenges.
Right.
So that's where we're kind of launching, even just this week, really a large fundraiser to raise $200,000+, and we've had $30,000+ come in since July. And we're excited to partner with people, and we have kind of levels of advocate champions for Christian education, advocates, and ambassadors at $1,000. $5,000 and $10,000, and obviously things that go with that if people are interested, but also every dollar helps and every dollar counts. So there's opportunities to give there on our website as well.
We'll talk about that here in a second, but I think it's also good to point out that you guys, for trying to keep things affordable, and right now, God love you, because there's a lot of things that go into, I'm sure, that private school decision or Christian school, but you guys you don't get the funding of a public school.
No, we don't.
Not even close, you know?
Right. We get zero public fund.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you have to do it all on your own, and this is really good to know that, for past individuals that went to Mississippi Valley, or maybe that had friends or just were big supporters of the military academy, this is a great way in a different form to kind of carry this legacy on, because that's one of the most historic plots of education around.
Correct. And in fact, I met with CB Jackson, who's head of Western yesterday. They're redoing one of the panes on the memorial there, and we chatted a little bit, and again, he said, man, we're so appreciative for you guys keeping up the property. And of course, that's for our own benefit as much as it is for them, but we're trying to do the best we can, and again, always there's challenges. So
what's the website?
It is mvcs-il.org.
I got this. Here we go. Okay. Let's figure out how much money we can raise. We got to raise $200,000, and we're going to do this. So how can you direct me to find that? Oh, the big donate button right there. Okay. So let's take you to it. I'll put a picture in picture so you guys can follow along here with me. You see this scrolling to the top of the screen. There's a little button here that says donate. I clicked on it, and here's I love that you guys do the subscription model too. Donate monthly, or you can donate one time, or maybe do both. Maybe that big smacking one-time donation, and then maybe $500 a month.
Well, and if you scroll down a little bit, there's kind of our other levels of donation, and with that we have some things, whether that's, here a lot of people think, oh, well, let's just donate, and that's great if you can do that, but there's also some advertising type of things, and so there's some things that go with those different levels that would be, representation in our gymnasium, in our media, that type of thing, and so we can certainly talk through some of those. If it's more of an advertising donation, if you want to call it that way, we would love to partner with community businesses and that type of thing.
Well, let's look at some of those. Let me zoom in here because my eyes are getting bad, man. I'm telling you what, I think I'm just getting too old. So here's what you receive a little bit. Name and permanent fixture on the partner honor wall. Promotion as an educational partner, inclusion in newsletter name mentions, recognition on the website as an education partner, and much more. So if it's a business opportunity, what can you guys do is there you're going to get this. Is there anything else additional?
Well, there's always thing that we're doing, that we're putting out, and we a lot of times you end up doing like single pieces, like, oh, do you want a page in the yearbook? Oh, do you want a poster in the gymnasium? Oh, do you want a, rather than doing all of those individual things, let's come together and do a larger package deal. You get all of those things, and even we're doing trivia night in I want to say it's in April, might be March, but there's parts of that where you could be.
So you're a true partner.
Yeah,
I love
that would
this.
be the idea.
This is really cool because it's not. Some schools, man, especially like I've seen St. Louis schools do fundraisers, and it's more like a thanks come again type of atmosphere. This is real recognition, I think, and that's. I think what makes the school last generation upon generation is that personal side of the build too.
Right. Well, and this is something of a new approach. Historically, we've kind of done the nickel and dime type of thing with limited success. What I want to get away from that and say, okay, if you want to partner with us, great. Here's some benefits. And then hopefully we're not coming to you time after time after time with, hey, I need another 10, I need another 100.
Exactly. So this is brilliant. I mean, really, I love this idea, 100%. So, take me through your role at the school.
So I have been here, this is my 6th year, and I actually came on as staff at the church initially.
Okay.
But about 18 months ago, we had some leadership challenges and changes, and so I took this role and began to try to move it forward and really, take a more entrepreneurial approach to this.
You need to.
What is the value that we provide to the community?
Yeah.
And to ask not just my board, but myself, how are we adding value to the community? Because it's very easy to come and say, hey, give us money, give us students, give us tuition.
Right.
How are we giving back? And so we're really looking at that strategically within our board to make a difference in giving back to the community. We have our young people right now, they're working on community projects that they have to have in place or at least figured out by Thanksgiving, that hopefully will be launched and finished by Christmas as part of one of their classes, and we're doing that by each grade. Stuff like that. We're talking about some other things that I'll kind of hold back because they're still very developmental, but
okay.
The purpose is I don't want to come and just say, hey, give to me.
Right.
The question that I heard actually from a pastor was, if we closed our doors tomorrow, would anyone in our community know about it?
That's a great point. And that's what I wanted to kind of lead into, is a couple years ago, 5-ish years ago, maybe even 10, the school kind of lost that word of mouth. From my perspective, you know, we used to hear about it all the time, I thought, or at least see things, and I didn't see as much of it.
Right.
In the last year or so, maybe last couple, it just seems like that's starting to really come back into fruition, because whenever you have a school that's actively being talked about, it's hard to really stop the train, you know?
Correct. And so that's where we're at, kind of moving away from that, whatever that time frame was for whatever reason, and really ramp up our social media, our interaction, being involved with the different groups within the community, whether that be the Rotary and CEO program, all of those different things. And so we're working towards putting those things in place and really getting the personnel to do it well.
North Alton Godfrey Business Council. That'd be a good one.
Yes.
Well, and they're a sponsor of the show.
Yes.
With that being said, too, you hit on something that's really a good point, and that's something that not a lot of people are thinking about. A lot of the trends are we're thinking more as people, as entrepreneurs, more so than we ever have, where it's, you know, what's the value that we're getting, because we're in a world where value is in our face all the time, where we're seeing different activities and programs throughout the country, and we're seeing what we're getting here.
Yes.
So it's a constant evaluation. And I think it's really smart to look at it that way, because at the end of the year, it's not going to be, you know, how happy is little Johnny? You know, it might be a factor. It'd be a factor, but the bigger one's going to be, what are we getting out of this for the money that we're putting into it?
Correct.
And that's a really good way to look at it.
Well, and the challenge is, people can get education for free.
Right. That's what, I mean, you guys have to do this right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So ours is a culture of integrity and of honesty, and our target market really is churches. And we have 28 churches represented in our school, and we have less than 100 kids. So that shows you some of the diversity that we have.
Wow.
In our school already. And so we also want it to be clear in our messaging that we are not the church. We're not trying to be. We expect parents to parent their kids. That's their responsibility. Biblically, we believe. We expect pastors to be the pastor of their church, and I'm not trying to be the pastor of anybody's church. And then we expect churches to teach the Bible. Yeah. Now, we want to come alongside and assist in that.
True.
Training with parents, training and providing resources, but ultimately putting back the responsibility where it belongs, and not trying to absorb that ourselves.
I love this, man. I really do. I think this is honestly, I've had a lot of interviews with schools and admins and parents that talk about what they're looking for. And that really does tick off a lot of boxes. Now, I wanted to ask you about this, because on November the 11th, you are doing a Thank You to Veterans event. Fill me in on this.
So this is something that we do every year, and it's usually not huge, but we would certainly like to see it grow.
We're going to grow this damn thing, because this isn't the first and only time you're coming on this show. We got to have you on.
Look forward to coming back.
Yeah.
But November 11th, starting at 9 a.m., we're going to have a small program where the kids will sing some patriotic songs and that type of thing, and we'll ask veterans to stand, that type of thing, with their with the different branches that they've served in, and then we'll have a brunch afterwards. And so on Facebook, there's a way that you can sign up for that event, so that if we do get overrun based on your reach, that we have a chance to prepare enough food and seats and all of that kind of stuff.
We're getting you there.
We'll get a new venue if needed.
Well, and honestly, I think this is great for the community, because especially the older generation that really did know Western military and know about, that, to be able to go back there and see what the new generation's doing there. And I mean that. How great would that be to see some former graduates and folks that haven't been in a while come back here that are veterans and be celebrated, but also to see what you guys are doing. And I love this idea of not preaching you're letting people own those avenues of the development of somebody, and I think that's so important.
Right. And a lot of parents, they say, oh, well, we want to protect the innocence of our children as long as possible, because there is definitely some challenges.
Oh, that too. Yeah, 100%, man. 100% agree with
that
you.
is obviously something that we appreciate and are trying to do. And again, this
is great.
Going back, parents have to make the decision for themselves and for their family. They're responsible for their own kids. So again, if we can be a help, and we want to be. And so obviously we have those things put in place, and we have our values. But our goal is to train children to be Christian leaders and learners for life. And so kind of even the education model of, I don't want to just give a degree at the end of that 12 years, but rather that child goes away with a passion for learning and growing and developing themselves that doesn't stop at 18, but continues throughout a lifetime.
You're going to teach them how to be on time?
That's
10 o'clock means 10 o'clock,
well,
not 10:21. You know, not you. I'm talking about our president. That's why I pushed you behind, because I thought, well, we'll get this first. But you know, jokes aside,
that's on
jokes
you.
aside, Tim, I think honestly, man, this is a great way for us to support this. Now, the bigger question I always have is, parents are somewhat frustrated, somewhat looking for a different change. When do you start enrollment for either the semester or the year? How does this work?
So open enrollment will be somewhere in around May.
Okay, so
generally,
we can put that save the date just for May.
Yeah, and that's again. It might actually I think it might be April. It's somewhere. It's on the calendar there. Off the top of my head, I wasn't prepared for that one, but we can start now. I mean, if people are interested, we can start into the process of working through, hey, what does that look like? What does that cost look like? And how do we plan ahead of
well, I mean that because you're really checking a lot of boxes today with what you're saying. I mean, 100% with what parents are looking for right now. And I just love the fact, too, that to have veterans programs and the students are involved, I'm sure.
Yep.
That's huge. I mean, and that instills something I think that's gone a lot of times from the young people is a love for just being Americans. Not politically speaking, but just kind of celebrating these holidays and Veterans Day and thanking our veterans. Those are important deals.
Well, we had a meeting on Monday with our board, and with all of this, and again, finishing out our 50th year, there's some big plans for some rebranding and some bigger changes that will be going along that line, and really an homage, I guess, is that the right word, back to Western and some of what they have done historically, and again, a patriotic forward movement as well. So
well, and honestly, a Christian school in the heartland of America that is equipping students for a successful life. As an education partner, you're providing revenue that will grow the academy and help these students grow into becoming great adults like so many already have. And I mean that. I've coached students from every district, it seems like. And the couple I have had from Mississippi Valley, you can just tell the difference. So it's not even about what you're going to receive in this, because if you're looking to donate to get something out of it, you're barking up the wrong tree. Call an ad agency; they'll take care of you, because that's really all you're doing when you give money to one of those guys. You're donating it. So call an ad agency. But really think about this. Now, are these one-time and monthlies? Can you do both options, or are the bigger ones just one time? How does
it's set up to be a one-time, but if somebody wants to give that, I am more than willing to.
I think someone can give you $1,000 a month for a while.
I think they could, and so that's where we're coming to the community and making an attempt to really perpetuate this, and the need is great, and so if you can give.
Oh, you guys are too nice. Think about this. Monthly donations are just $10.
Well, and that's the start. They can change it. They could add 2 or 3 or 5 zeros. I'm okay with that.
There we go. No, but Tim, before I let you go,
yes, sir.
What else do we need to talk about today that we haven't touched on?
We've covered obviously a lot of ground in a short period of time.
We normally do. We're going to have you back on. I just wanted to make sure that we took care of you here.
I would say this. We have a tradition of excellence, of integrity, and of service.
Okay.
And that we want to perpetuate. In doing so, we understand our role in the Christian community and in the Alton community, the Riverbend community. And so we want to be intentional about not undermining parents or their pastors or their churches, because again, that is our primary focus, to reach that part of the community and create a culture that that they would expect to raise their kids for Christ.
And then before I let you go, one final time, can I have the details on how we can be a part of this?
Yes.
Veterans
So
Day?
November 11th at 9 a.m. the program will begin, and there is information on our website that you can RSVP that, hey, I'm interested in coming, and we would love to meet you and have you come. And you know what? Whether you're a veteran or not, you're welcome to come, but you might be here.
Hey, thank you so much, Tim. It was a pleasure meeting you. I want to have you back on as we get closer and closer to 200,000. Thank you guys. Have a great program, and best of luck with it all.
Thank you, CJ.
We'll link everything on an article on RiverBender.com, but now the president is now addressing the nation. We'll take you there now.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off dog walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
Welcome back, 10:05. Little bit of change on this Friday morning. Always love chatting it up with the Museum of Illusions. I think 3 Peters now on this show so far. And Julissa, did I get your name correct? Awesome. And I think your microphone's still muted for me. Let's see if we can get that unmuted.
There we go.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Thanks for having us.
So I love the Museum of Illusions. I don't know if this is the second or third time, but ever since James started filling me in, I just love what you all are doing. And so many great exhibits, but this is incredible. So STEM.org, I mean, the Educational Research Center and Museum of Illusions, this is amazing. Announced that strategic partnership launching on National STEM Day. This is really exciting.
We are super excited to be partnering with STEM.org. As you said, they are just top of the industry for what they do. They work with so many different companies and brands around the U.S. And it just made sense for our partnership with them. We have, very many museums all over the U.S. now. You'll start seeing them pop up more and more. But as we started to do that, it just wasn't enough. We wanted to make sure that we were still providing that exceptional STEM-based experience. And a lot of our teachers have asked for more. And so we saw the need and we met it. And partnering with STEM.org is going to give us this opportunity to offer really tailored lesson plans that coincide or go hand in hand with our exhibit spaces. We'll have lessons from K through 12. So it's really exciting.
Well, I mean, this really is exciting because, I think what the museum has done so well, and especially some newer innovative spaces just throughout the country and the world is, it's great to have these PSA campaigns, and it's great to drive home the word about all of this great things that are happening in STEM and why a kid should be involved. but to have opportunities that actually where you can get your hands on this type of learning and really develop those skills and truly get inspired by it, that's how you grow the next generation, and that's how you put in this new form of education and this new forms of careers and industries. And this has got to be a great feeling for you and the entire team.
It is. It's really kind of putting our money where our mouth is. Our exhibits already have STEM-oriented components to it, and so being able to provide a curriculum that goes hand in hand with it is ideal for educators. Those lesson plans are going to be are going to be available to them when they book their field trips. They can pick and choose which ones make sense for their grade level and their class. It has all the national standards already listed on them, so they can make sure that they're checking the boxes that they need in order to provide a really quality experience for their students.
And what are some of those students and just folks in general? Take me through a little bit more of what we're going to start seeing a part of these exhibits, that curriculum, if you could.
Sure. Teachers, like I said, will have access to these tailored lesson plans, and they will be able to identify whatever the lesson is that they're trying to focus on for their grade level that particular week, and they'll be able to use that in our spaces so they can highlight and make that direct connection between optical illusions, perception, things like that you see in our museum, but also the science behind them, the technology behind them, the art and the math behind them, the engineering behind them. So it's really exciting that it's going to make it easy for them to do that.
Well, and I think it just goes hand in hand, especially with what technology and what these new forms of art are doing to create these illusions that were never even thought possible. I mean, truly, 100 years ago, no one would think this would be possible other than magic, But with some of the technology that you guys use, I think it just goes back to that point where this is how you get those children and those folks to say, let's be a part of this, these industries, let's be a part of this trade. And that's what I love the most about this. Now, this innovative design, I know, is to make STEM learning more accessible, engaging, and fun for all ages. Was the all ages component of this a little bit difficult to kind of navigate when we were talking curriculum, or did it kind of just go hand in hand, just taking it maybe taking pieces out of that same lesson plan for fitting those certain age groups?
Well, we wanted to make sure that we were offering, again, lesson plans that are good for grades K through 12. That is the entire spectrum of the education,
Right.
Early on education. And so we wanted to make sure that anything that was relevant for those grade levels to be learning, again, on those national standards, that they were able to do that through this curriculum. And when we talk about all ages, not only do we want this to be fun for the students that visit, we want it to be fun and engaging for the teachers as well. We want to encourage people to put their devices down for just a minute, connect with the spaces. Obviously, technology is what it is. We all love our technology, but we want to still make sure that, when it comes to the space, that they're really engaging with our illusion experts that are there, the space, and then also, tying that back up at the very end. And then, yes, you can pull out your devices. Yes, you can take pictures and fun videos and all that good stuff that kids like to do nowadays. And adults like to do as well. So it creates a really fun play space.
Well, and another thing that I wanted to keep highlighting here, which I think is such an important part for our area schools, if they haven't decided to look into Museum of Illusions yet, and if you haven't, what are you doing? But free admission for teachers year-round to facilitate field trip planning. I think that's a really great incentive and initiative for the museum. Has this been something you guys have always done?
We started this in 2024, and so we've been really excited to be able to share that with all of our communities. It just is something that we feel really strongly about. We want to make sure, again, that this is accessible for lots of different school systems and homeschool groups as well, because we do have a lot of students who are doing homeschool as an option too. So being able to allow their teacher or their chaperone in for free is going to ensure that, one, they are available and are ready to facilitate the field trip with them, but also that, again, they're learning too. They're part of that experience.
What I think is really cool about this too is the fact that when those students are learning, something that maybe those teachers can say to them, to kind of inspire them even more, is that they're learning with people from 25 different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're learning truly with folks and children from around the world that are utilizing the Museum of Illusions. Am I correct on this?
Yes, currently our curriculum will be available for 10 locations.
Okay.
We will be expanding that as well, but we are starting out with 10 locations. So you will see that curriculum be available in Atlanta, Charlotte, Cleveland, Denver, Las Vegas, Minneapolis, New York, St. Louis, San Diego, which will be opening at the end of the year here, and also Seattle.
That's pretty impressive that you just rattled those off. But, you know, and even then, though, around the country, you know, knowing that, hey, we're learning with kids from different states, that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our students learn in all different ways.
Yeah.
And so being able to provide something that's going to be able to be used for every type of learner that you may be bringing to the museum, whether they're a visual learner, a kinesthetic learner, you know, they learn through listening, like whatever it is, it will provide a little bit of all of that in the space.
Well, and what I think's, again, just going back to pushing those boundaries of learning, was that always the museum's goal when the Museum of Illusions first was developed and first thought of? Or was this something that was kind of added on because of just the opportunities that presented itself?
You know, a little bit of both. The exhibits have been designed with this in mind already. The people who started building those exhibits from early on in our inception in 2015, they already had that passion and that love for the STEM behind it, right? And so as we continue to open, especially here in the States, we just see more and more of the demand for it, and we want to be responsible in how we educate. And so it was important to make sure that the curriculum we were developing was accredited by someone like STEM.org.
Right.
So it has that value and that credibility.
Well, and that's what I think's great too. It really adds that kind of cherry on top of this whole really cool thing, is that it's not just your guys is developing the curriculum, which would have been great. There's nothing wrong with that. But to have that true partnership with such a verified and reputable organization, that's really where I think that's the sales pitch, you know. And take me through just the team's excitement about this, because I got to imagine, I mean, your team truly has got to be just head over heels knowing that this doesn't just add education to young people, but it also adds a new generation and really that future foundation for the museum as a whole. Am I onto something there too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we continue to grow our brand and create more innovative experiences and exhibits in the future for our new locations, you know, we want to stay ahead of that. And part of that is STEM. It is the way in which we want to make sure that we are communicating that educational like outreach and accessibility. I think the statistic I read the other day was something like 91% of parents agree that they see value and want more STEM education.
When have parents ever agreed that much? Not to cut you off. When have parents ever agreed?
It shows you that it is a need, and we are meeting it. So we're excited.
Well, and now what are the future plans? Is it, you know, maybe developing some really cool software for a live show host on Roku to use to make his audience think, you know, things are crazy happening? You know, no, but in all seriousness, what's the end goal with this?
I mean, the end goal is to keep building upon it. This is just the beginning of our partnership with STEM.org. So as we continue, we're going to, you know, roll this out. We'll get real live feedback from educators all over the country to be able to see, you know, where we're hitting the mark, what we're missing, what we could add, what would be beneficial. So we'll keep reevaluating and building upon it. So this will not be the first or the last of it.
When was, not to be, this is going to sound like a very silly question. When was National STEM Day? Is that today or?
That is today.
Okay,
actually, yes, that is today.
Don't scare me like that. I was like, I got nervous because I read the press release and I'm like, it keeps saying the 25th, but I swore it was November 8th because that's why we did it today.
That is correct. You are correct. It is November 8th. And so you'll see different things going out through our partnership. Of course, you'll see it on our website, museumofillusions.com, and you'll also see it at STEM.org, and you'll see it on social media. So you'll see a couple different things rolling out this week.
Well, and I got to ask you this, and I know it's just an idea that I just more that we're talking about this. Is there ever been a thought for the museum and STEM, that partnership to extend to maybe an online portion of it too for the kids?
Again, we're just starting. So yeah, absolutely. We're going to continue to be creative and innovative in how we
It's wonderful.
use our museum to beyond the walls, right? We want to make sure that we extend that experience as much as we can. We do also realize that while we have quite a few museums around the country, we also have places where there are not museums yet. So opportunities to maybe offer virtual experiences or things like that in the future is always going to be something we're going to consider.
Well, Julissa, thank you so much for your time today. And before I let you go, what else have we not hit on that we need to yet? Is there anything that we haven't touched base on that you'd like for our Riverbend audience to know about today?
I would probably just say, if you haven't heard of us before, check us out. Go to our website. We have locations, like I said, all over, and just type Museum of Illusions in your local city and see if we've got one near you or where the closest one is. Chances are you may be going to that city or that state for vacation or for holiday. So add it into your things to do. It's good for all ages. So whether you come with a school group or not, know that parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone will enjoy themselves. And it's hardly something it's actually rare to find something that everybody in your family can enjoy when you get together. So it will provide that experience that everyone will enjoy.
Before I let you go, let me add on this. If you're watching this on one of the Roku downloads that we have throughout the country, tell your city you need a Museum of Illusions. I think that's the next step,
That's right. As I said, we'll be opening a new location in San Diego and one in Santa Monica later on next year. So you will see us popping up more and more throughout the U.S. As well as overseas as well. Our home base is in Croatia. That is where our headquarters is. And so we have locations all the way from Dubai to Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I have a couple more softball questions for you. What is your favorite exhibit? I forgot to ask you this in the Museum of Illusions. Is there one that you kind of, if the family's around or if you got to impress somebody, you're taking them to first?
I am a very short person, so I really enjoy our Ames room because it creates the illusion, depending on which side of the room you're standing on, that you're really tall or you're really small. So I like to be a little tall in our Ames room.
Really cool. And then finally for you today, whenever we're talking about this, with your role with the museum, what has been the most rewarding part of, talking about these partnerships and trying to develop them? Because, it's all smiles now and, laughing, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a lot of hard work. While we've been around since 2015, in a lot of ways, we are still a fresh and growing brand. So trying to really get the word out about what we do. Not only do we offer, field trip experiences, we offer corporate events. We offer team building opportunities for groups to visit. We offer venue rentals. So you can actually rent out our entire museum for a really cool experience.
Whoa. Don't you just roll past that. How do we do that? That is the coolest darn thing I've heard today.
Yeah, absolutely. You can check that out on our website as well, in our events section. But yeah, we have companies who decide they want a holiday party in our space, or they want to, have an employee appreciation day and bring their families to somewhere fun. So we have a lot of great opportunities to engage with our museums based on your needs.
I think that you got to be some type of fortune teller over there, a mind reader, because I almost just screamed at the boss through our interview going, I think we know where our Christmas party is going to be.
There you go. Give me a call. We'll make that happen.
I'll be in touch with you on that. Julissa, thank you so much for your time. We'll make sure to link everything in a write-up here in our Illinois Metro East publication and throughout all the fun stuff. But best of luck on this partnership. I know it's going to be a great thing for all of us, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you, too. Have a great afternoon. Appreciate it.
No problem. Before we take a quick break, coming back after this commercial, we're talking to Corey Jobe, the CEO and president of Great Rivers and Routes. Sat down with us for about 40 minutes, and we talked about all the growth in sports tourism, plus the Byway Discovery Center. You stay there. I'll stay here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm gonna sing it to my friends. Will it go round in circles? Will it fly high like a bird up in the sky? Will it go round in circles?
Oh, you're perfect. 9:24. Corey Jobs is in the studio. How are we doing this morning, Corey?
We're doing great. It's the sun shining. We need no more rain.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
we got enough rain in 2 days for the next couple months.
I think we're good until spring.
I think we're good for a little while. My yard is flooded, that's for sure.
Man, you ain't a kid. It's the only time I ever thought I'd never had a water feature before, but
Lakefront property we have, right?
Mr. Job, it's been a great run of things for Great Rivers and Routes, and it's been exciting to be in the region and seeing all of this happening. And this Byway Discovery Center that's coming down the pipeline, and it seems like 2026 is what I just read. Very exciting, but also just the growth that the counties in your coverage area are experiencing. This has got to be great.
Well, it's I'm celebrating my 4th year here next week.
Already?
It's been 4 years.
Wow,
where does the time go? Causing so much fun and trouble in the process. But no, it's we've had a good run. Since the pandemic, some obviously small business owners are still feeling that, and with cost of product and prices, I understand that. But we've had a really good run here in the region. Since 2020, visitor spending's been up $100 million.
Wow.
in 4 years. Now that's starting to level off again a bit because the world's reopened, right?
Right.
You can go anywhere in the world you want. We're a great road trip destination, 3 to 5 hour drive market. We know where our visitors are coming from. We know who our visitors are. So we're hyper-focused on them. And so, that 3 to 5 hour drive, road trip destinations where we're solid. And, in those, and then in the last 2 years, outdoor recreation spending is up over 20%. So we know a lot of people are coming here to enjoy our outdoor product, our natural resources, our state parks, the rivers, our bike trail system here in Madison County. And so, we got to continue to develop that and grow that product as we continue to meet that demand.
Well, and I think that your region is so unique and just and how it kind of lays out, because those are some things that I'm kind of privy to, just kind of seeing, you have rural, municipal, you have small towns and suburban, you have every walk of life to really capture and showcase what makes them great for their region too as part of that. And I think Great Rivers and Routes really does a good job with their projects. I'm not saying patronizing because you're bigger than me, Corey, story, but from Granite City to all the way down the map, I mean, to the things you've done in Edwardsville and onward, it really does match what that community really does feel and look like.
Well, it's interesting. We really have 4 national scenic byways that cross our area, and there's 7 in the state. But the 2 most iconic on a global scale are Route 66 and the Great River Road. And, I tell people you might as well make hay while you've got it. And Route 66 is going to turn 100 years old in 2026. And so I've been fortunate. The governor has appointed me chair of the Route 66 Centennial Commission statewide. But we started an initiative 4 years ago where we went to the legislature and said, hey, we have the centennial coming up. We need to be prepared. Look what Oklahoma's doing. Look what other states out west are doing. So we wrote legislation to put $4 million in the state budget to help local communities along Route 66 from Chicago to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which is in our area. And that was successful. And then it's just appeared in the governor's budget every year since. So the last 4 years, we've had over $16 million in grant funds that come directly to destination marketing organizations like Great Rivers and Routes from Chicago to us to help build product, roadside attractions. And we're seeing that momentum. International travel to Illinois is up 17% over the previous year, and we're seeing increases in that as well.
Well, and just to follow up on that point, which is a great one, there's 2 points that actually, number one is it's great to, know that, in the world of, Southern Illinois maybe doesn't get some of the love, to know that, it's, this is included in the governor's budget or has been, each year. That's a good note. And really good to know. The other thing that I find fascinating is I talked to Rich Henry before he passed away, and just a great man.
A wonderful man.
And, I'm always big about numbers, but you truly get a sense when you talk to the folks that are on the ground and living it. And some of the things that he was saying, because we've had him on a couple of times, was just about all the new faces from out of the country that were coming in, and how incredible it was, and how big this was going to get because of the occasion. And it's just great to hear that too.
Well, and business owners like Rich and others have seen, unfortunately, his passing, and I know the family's going to try to keep it open. It is a unique site.
It really is.
And when you think about global travel, it's maybe not as a big domestic road trip, but I think the Centennial will help that.
For sure.
Internationally, Route 66 is the ultimate bucket list road trip. And when we're talking to international tour operators and media, most travelers, when they go on holiday to the U.S. from an international market, they're on the road 3 to 4 weeks at a time. And so that's the epic road trip of a lifetime for an international travel. But yes, I mean, the state of Illinois does pump a lot of money in tourism, and and I get a kick out when somebody says, we're not a tourism destination here in Alton or here in Madison County, but yet last year we had over almost $880 million in visitor spending in our 6-county region, and $600 million of that was in Madison County alone. So when you talk to a business owner like J.D. Lorton up at Aries, or Mike Kelly at the Cracker Factory, you could just name them one after the other, Ben Allen at Loading Dock, they'll tell you without the visitor economy, there would be no business.
Right.
And so the visitor economy, it helps our small business owners. And so, yes, we have a great, unique position that we're in right now. And Route 66 with the Centennial brings new attention to the Great River Road, too, because we're the only place in America where Route 66 and the Great River Road meet.
Well, exactly.
So,
well, and too, what I think is really wonderful is just the fact that everyone that's in that region is all on the same page, too. Really does get on the same page and really rallies around this goal.
Yes, well, one community can't do it on their own. We used to be back. We're going to celebrate our 40th anniversary in business in 2025. Wow. 40 years, the Great Rivers and Routes.
It's incredible.
It started as all around Alton, but everybody knew in this 6-county area when we started to grow, they couldn't do it on their own. And so, Alton can't do it on their own. Edwardsville, Collinsville, et cetera, et cetera. And so, it's our goal and our mission to drive travel to and throughout our 6-county community. You could stay in Alton for a couple of nights. You could be at Lloyd Hopkins Field in a tournament, but you've got to have something to do in between. And so you might drive up to Grafton, you might go over to Edwardsville. Who knows where you might go, but the dollar is staying here in our 6-county region.
Well, and you just crystal ball moment for you, because the big thing I've been talking about lately is this idea of sports tourism.
Yes.
And, you know, no one realizes, I don't think, and it's for every sport, but I know mostly for soccer how much money some of these tournaments can really bring into a community. And, you know, now that we have some fields that aren't as playable as they could be, but it seems like our region, especially the Great Rivers and Routes map, near that 255 corridor, has some wonderful opportunity there, especially in Edwardsville, Plummer Park, and all those, in O'Fallon too. Is there an opportunity to grow that sports tourism map?
Absolutely. You just teed it up nicely for me, because, you know, last year we hired the Huddle Up Group, which is a national leading sports tourism planning organization, and they do plans for big destinations like Vegas and Portland and Chicago, but they do destinations like us as well. You know, what's so unique about us, we're centrally located in America. We're close to an airport. We're on Amtrak, an interstate system. We have great product, leisure product for families and players to go do while they're on a break from a tournament. And we have good outdoor facilities. You know, we've got, you know, with the Plummer Park 2 expansion, that's going to be incredible. What we don't have is an indoor facility.
That's true.
And we've been talking about this. And there's some communities that we're meeting with, but the growing industry in hospitality and travel has been sports, youth and amateur sports. I'm not talking professional sport.
No, not at all. That's what I mean. It's just these clubs like Gallagher and all that.
Yes, and so, you know, that was over a $50 billion industry last year. $50 billion in America. Youth and amateur. So it's a major opportunity. A lot of communities are looking at it. I think we have a great opportunity for one facility in Madison County.
Yeah, I agree.
But we don't know where that would be yet. We're talking to some communities. We're talking to Madison County government. We've talked to Alton. We've talked to Godfrey. We've talked to Granite City and others. You know, Edwardsville, I think, is really focused on outdoor, which is critically important. You know, it's interesting. We just received a $500,000 incentive grant from the governor's office, DCO, and the Illinois Office of Tourism to attract new sporting events. So we're going to have a series of rolling announcements over the next several months that without this incentive fund, these events wouldn't be calling Great Rivers and Routes region home. And we'll be announcing those as the winter months roll along. And these will be for 25, 26, and 27.
That's incredible. Well,
so just a little investment can really go a long way. And you may not see it as an elected official or as a John Q. Public. But when a tournament, for instance, NCBA 1 and 2, that have called Lloyd Hopkins Field home for the last 2 years, and now again next year, they fill all of our hotel rooms. They go out and eat. They buy gas. They shop. They play while they're in the area. And that has a major ripple effect on our local economy. You may not see that as an average Joe, but when those youth tournaments come to the region, and it's only on weekends, right? So we need a facility that our residents can enjoy Monday through Friday, and that we can book nonstop Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's the key for an indoor facility. And we've got studies. I think people are open to it. We don't need to cannibalize ourselves here in the region. One, within the county is enough.
Well, and on top of that, too, I want to go back to that facility. But, you know, just a little bit more behind the curtain on those tournaments, you know, that I think is so important is it's not just the area. If they have especially vendors set up, you know, no one really talks about what happens when that vendor has $1,000 day and goes and puts $250 out at a local restaurant to celebrate, and what that means. But also on the flip side with officiating, because it's become a great career, early first job for so many kids that are able to clear, you know, a couple $100 a weekend. So there's a little bit more to that too that maybe folks don't understand. I don't think.
Well, I'm telling you, sports tourism is not going anywhere. You know, hundreds of people that have kids that travel. How about keeping them at home?
I think they'd all say yes.
To us
that's been the problem.
And spend their money here. And you know, I know tons of people that go every weekend to see their daughter or their son, bring their grandparents, maybe aunts and uncles, and they stay and they eat and they shop. And that can happen right here in Madison County. It can. We are so primed for it. And so that has been our effort over the last couple of years, making sure that we educate local officials. You know, we have a regional sports committee that we have formed out of that, not a commission, but a committee. And we're also seeking, the state legislature last year allowed for tourism improvement districts to be created, which is not a tax. It's just a user fee on a hotel room that goes to a dedicated fund for things like a location, an indoor location, or some sort of athletic facility. And it's needed. And so I think you'll see more and more of that discussion taking more public space over the next year. We've just been laying the groundwork privately with elected officials. And so, youth sports is not going anywhere.
One final thought on that, too, and I know it's still early, but would this facility be a multi-sport facility, or would you be looking to,
we would. This would be, I would say 100,000 square feet.
Okay.
It would be what I describe it as 8 to 10 basketball court size that could be converted to volleyball, that could be converted to wrestling, dance, cheer, gymnastics. So a multitude of things, but also have a center, an athletic facility center for locals. So you could have programming for your local residents that could use it Monday through Friday. Indoor type things that your local residents want. So
cool.
So when there's been a lot of conversation about 25 or 30,000 square feet facilities, but that's okay. But you're not really seeing a true economic potential. What will happen if you build this? You're going to need more hotel room. You're going to need more hotels, period. We don't have enough hotel rooms now. I think when you see the Plummer Park 2 and all that happening out at I-55, the Park North development in Edwardsville, there's not going to be enough hotel rooms for that development. And so, that will spur even more economic development. They're building these athletic facilities in the middle of nowhere across the country.
Yeah.
And then everything's building around it. And so we're so centrally located. And I think that's what the Huddle Up group study showed to us, that we have great leisure product. We're so centrally located. We just don't have the facility development to compete now on the indoor.
Before we take a pause here and come back, I got to, kind of ask you about this too, because I think sometimes, and you hit it, well, that's why I started the show. You don't need to go to New York or LA to do anything anymore. No. You can do it right here. There's so many things to talk about. But sometimes I think that because we're living here, we don't really see the cool things and the greatness. What is there anything that you can kind of correlate to why maybe it takes some time for hometown residents or maybe the local residents to really understand that these numbers are there?
Well, everything takes time, right? You've got to do a lot of education. I think in the tourism perspective, I don't think people believe the numbers. And I'm not making these numbers. These are from U.S. Travel, Brand USA, the state of Illinois. We study the heck out of I spend more money out of our budget each year on studies and economic impact reports and understanding where our visitors coming from, data. But you present these numbers, and I don't know any other sector in our 6-county region that's producing that kind of spending.
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, this is a tourism economy. It really is. And so, I think it's a lot of education. It's a lot of holding hands. And it does take time. I've learned, I grew up in Southern Illinois. I spent a lot of my life in Springfield, Illinois, in the government.
Right.
And then I was in Chicago for 5 years, and now back downstate. But I've learned that it just takes time. And I don't, I've had to learn that a lot, sometimes the hard way.
Right.
But it takes time to educate people. And look, it's not, building a major sports facility is not cheap.
No,
it's probably, to build 100,000 square feet, you need 10 acres. I'm just boiling the numbers down.
Right.
You need 10 acres. It's probably $40 to $50 million investment when it's all said and done. But that $40 to $50 million investment does help with your local residents, but you can pay that investment off over time because indoor sports turns a quicker profit for that facility than a outdoor bat and ball.
See that. Yeah.
Now, the outdoor bat and ball generates a ton of economic spending at hotels and restaurants and shops and gas. But probably doesn't pay for itself as fast. The indoor facility does. There's tons of studies out there on the market. Synergy Sports Facilities Company,
Yeah.
those are the two leading sports development companies out there.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
You got a moment to stick around?
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry about my sports and my sports tourism rants. I'm a big proponent of this.
You're talking
Corey.
right up my alley, so I love it.
We got a lot more to talk about with the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes, Corey Jobe. More of our daily show on this Wednesday morning continues right after this.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off dog walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Divs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
And you know it will.
9:44. You know, I'm telling you, Corey, I've always said the best show is not what's on the air.
You are right.
If these muted microphones could talk,
Exactly.
I wouldn't have a job. Back to our daily show with the president and CEO of Great Rivers and Routes. You know, the big thing that I got really excited for, and I've said this for a long time, was seeing those first concepts of the Byway Discovery Center and seeing the initial concept of that beautiful walkway overlooking it. Is this coming down the pipeline in 2026, or was there an overlook on that?
No, it was originally planned at Piasol Park.
Yeah, was there an overlook on the bluff that was like put into that?
There was going to be a viewing stand.
Oh, that's what it was. I was excited about that, but now we're still getting this just down the road.
We are. So earlier this week, yes, we announced our final, let's take a step back.
Okay.
And this happened 2.5, almost 3 years ago now. We initially applied for an EDA grant. EDA is the Economic Development Administration at the federal level. They were putting out some ARPA funding for tourism across the country. And we originally pitched this idea of Byway to creating new product along our 33-mile stretch of the Meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway, which we administer, that byway as well. And so we got knocked out in the first round, very highly competitive around the country. So then former state Senator Rochelle Crow and I were talking, and she said, let's try to pitch this to the state. And we did, and we were successful. We got a $10 million capital grant awarded or approved in the state budget in fiscal year 22.
Okay.
We're in fiscal year 25 now. So then it took about a year. That was a part of the capital grant where it's in the Build Illinois bonds. I'm getting in the weeds here, how the funding happens.
Following, yeah.
So the funding finally takes place, and we got our notice of grant award about a year ago. So in that time, a lot of different things had taken place. We were trying to find property. It's not an Alton Visitor Center. It's not it's a byway discovery center. It was always intended to orientate visitors to what the byway is, a working river.
Not to cut you off, but I almost considered it a hub more than.
Yeah, I would say it's it would be a hub for the byway. There's not something right now that celebrates the working river or the towns that make up the byway, our natural resources, our outdoor recreation, all those sorts of wonderful things. So we had already undertaken had successfully awarded our architect, which is local in Edwardsville, our engineer, SMS engineers here, local, our urban planners and architects, and landscape architects out of Naperville, and then our museum consultants, designers, and builders, which is Taylor Studios out of Rantoul. So all Illinois companies that are working on it. We had already had them under contract, spending a lot of money out of our own pocket, not a part of the grant. And so we were having a very difficult time finding a location that would not be financially draining on our organization. And there were a lot of missteps in certain locations. And so we had always looked at Piasall Creek. We liked what the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was doing there. We know Piasall Creek is a great paddling spot, and we know a lot of boaters take launch there. And so we circled back with Great Rivers Land Trust and said, hey, we think this fits probably the byway's narrative better. The U.S. Army Corps is doing the island restoration project up there. Great Rivers Land Trust is a wonderful organization that is taking back property and turning it back to natural resources.
It's amazing
what they're doing quietly behind the scenes, really doing wonderful things. And they bought that marina up there and bought all that commercial and filled the marina in and had these big plans for green space. And when I took the architects and everybody up there, we said, this just makes sense. And so our board of directors a couple of months ago agreed to move forward. And we're now moving forward at Piasall Creek. And so what we wanted to do was update new drawings, new designs, because we are on the clock with the state.
Yeah.
The state, we always had to have the money spent by March or April of 2026. That was always our deadline. And so we had even at one point in time thought about giving the $10 million back. And then my board said, well, Corey, if we give the $10 million back,
when are you going to get it?
They're never going to award us a grant again. And that $10 million really doesn't come to the Bureau. None of it does. It's money in, money out. It's for product development. And that's all the things we've done. We're launching a new kayak kiosk program. There's going to be 10 kayaks in the area that'll launch this spring. They're being installed right now. So we're trying to create all this new product that visitors want with outdoor recreation and nature-based tourism. Back to our earlier conversation, up 20% the last 2 years. And so we're really excited. We should probably be breaking ground on the Byway Discovery Center sometime in early spring. It's going to be an aggressive build. We know that, but we are close to going out for public bid and following all the state procurement laws sometime in early January. So there'll be a lot of momentum going in the first of the year. And then along with that, that's about a $7 million project. That's going to be a 4,500 square foot building, about 1,600 square feet of exhibit museum space. It's going to have lecture facilities. It's going to have some outdoor learning labs and other things there. But then at the Confluence Tower in Hartford, we're really excited about because there hasn't been anything spent there since it opened over 20 years ago. And, when I came in, that was closed. The Confluence Tower, the mayor at that time had closed it.
That's right. You're 100% right.
Had been closed for a couple of years. And I worked with the current mayor. He's been wonderful. And we reopened it and started hosting tours. And we manage, Great Rivers Routes Tourism Bureau manages that facility. We actually manage 5 visitor centers in the region. We manage
I didn't realize that.
The Alton Visitor Center. We manage the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower. We manage the West End Service Station in Edwardsville for the city of Edwardsville. And then we just renewed our contract on a competitive bid. We manage the Audubon Center at Riverlands.
Wow.
And we also manage the National Great Rivers Museum, their visitor services. Yeah, so most people don't know that. So, so we know visitor.
But just to touch
we have visitor
on that,
center experience.
Corey, you guys have to be good at what you're, and I mean this because if you weren't knowledgeable, I mean, it's not just you're running visitor centers. I mean, you're talking about going from West End Service Station down to Audubon Center. It's having this knowledge on how these different properties run.
And you know, we have a great visitor center specialist staff. They're retired individuals. They're really great people that do a wonderful job day in and day out. But so the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower is going to see a major facelift and expansion. You know, we're going to be spending about nearly $3 million there we're expanding the museum and visitor center experience. We're building the state-of-the-art playscape, probably be the coolest playscape in our 6-county region. We're going to expand the park and some learning labs exterior and be able to tell a deeper story about the Lewis and Clark and the American Bottoms experience. And so both of those projects simultaneously will be happening at the same time. So it's our goal and the state's goal for us to find one general contractor, which we've talked to several in the region already. They know the bids, the public process is coming. And it'll be a new investment, new product, $10 million that is coming to the region. But you know, CJ, over the last 3.5 years, Great Rivers Routes Tourism Bureau has probably brought nearly $20 million in grant funds back to our region that we're spending right here in Alton, that we're spending in Graft, all up and down around our region. That none of it goes to our bottom line. I mean, I'm opening the books here to you publicly, because a lot of people see us get these grant funds, but none of that goes to operations. And so our community partnerships, like what we have here with Alton and Collinsville and Edwardsville and Granite City and Woodward, we have several community partnerships that are based on food and beverage taxes, hotel motel taxes. That goes to help market, to help sell tour operators and motor coach, to tournament rights, so sports rights holders. That's where that investment goes. And I always tell elected officials, you know, there's 8 of us at our office. You could never, the city of Alton or the city of Edwardsville could never hire 8 employees for the dollars they're giving us as an investment.
That's true.
In really making tourism shine here in the 6th County
I 100% agree. And I think a common misconception is because everyone with grants is they always just think you just sit right on that, well, how much is that guy taking home? Well, nothing, because, and the whole argument I always have for this, the grants, if it's not coming to us, are going to other folks. So the fact that we have this and have a champion for grants and have some, and it's going to split up between a couple of different towns, but one town can't have the world. It's not how a region's successful.
Correct. And, you know, it's we've got a great relationship with the Illinois Office of Tourism. We've got a great relationship with DCO, but we have relationships with the National Park Service, the National Trust for Historic Preservation. We have great relationships with the Federal Highway Administration and IDOT, because under the Biden administration, whether you like it or not, there is more money being pumped into infrastructure, roads, bridges, ports, than in our lifetime. And you know, we had a hefty discussion on our board whether we should be going after these funds. And if we don't go after them, somebody else will.
100%.
And we've been able to go out. You know, the state of Illinois hadn't invested in national scenic byways in over 20 years. And now we're going to see that investment take place. You're going to see some things happening here along the Great River Road. You know, we have a corridor management plan for our meeting of the Great Rivers that was established in 2007. We're in 2025 almost. We've already achieved all those things that were done in 2007. We need to update our corridor management plan so we can seek additional funds and projects. And a lot of things have changed in this area.
And on top of that, too, Corey, I mean, you know, people always talk about how beautiful this is. Well, it's beautiful, but timing's always a scary thing, too.
Correct.
Because, yes, time does wonders, but it also can do some bad things. And to manage this and to add these new additions to beautify the corridor, to enhance it, that's what you need.
Well, and you know, we have so many assets that need attention now on this byway. From the San Vidalabine Bike Trail to Pierre Marquette State Park. We need a full-time ferry operation in Grafton. We need better access points for our boaters and fishermen on the Mississippi. All these things are current infrastructure not problems, but need to be addressed. That's what we should be focusing on a region. When you look at I go back again, 20% increase in visitor spending for outdoor rec, nature-based tourism in the last 2 years. It shows you that people want to come here. Pere Marquette State Park is gets more visitors. It's the largest state park, gets over 2 million visitors a year, but it needs some help.
Yeah.
The lodge needs work. We need to upgrade the amenities there. I love, we have a great relationship with Nate Gettin and his team at the park, but they need help.
Yeah.
And we can be their champion. But as a region, that's the sort of things we should be focused on, is how do we improve the infrastructure? How do we improve visitor amenities that not only drive economic return, but help us as a quality of life for us as residents, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
And with that being said, we're coming up to the top of the hour. A couple of minutes left. What should we? Is there anything else that's coming down the pipeline we should be privy to?
Well, I would just say to your listeners, I would just keep following our website at riversandroutes.com, especially with the two projects that we've talked about here briefly, but also what we're doing in sports tourism, Route 66. You can find all that if you go to riversandroutes.com and then hit the destination development tab. We just launched a new 10-year tourism master plan for the region, which we're really excited about. When I started here, we'd never had a tourism master plan. I believe in planning and strategic plans.
Well, you have to, yeah.
Yes, it keeps us kind of following what we need to do. So we're committed here, and this is going to take some time to get accomplished. But go to our website. That's where you can find all the latest and greatest information of things we're doing.
Well, this has been a great conversation. 40 minutes of one. I hope you guys got something out. One of my favorites of the week. Great information in that. Not a great week of shows. Busy season's over. Yeah, I'm excited. But I'm still going to be out in the community for more events. Until Monday, try your best to stay out of jail.